Hello chess friends and welcome to your out of chess channel and welcome to another spectacular game from the Speed Chess Championship in 2024 that you can follow on chess.com. In the quarterfinal stage we had the amazing match between Magnus Carlsen and Arjun Erigaisi, and we know that Magnus Carlsen got through, is now in the semifinals, and he's playing now against his arch enemy Hans-Moke Niemann. In the other semifinals we have also a great match between Alireza Firouzja and Hikaru Nakamura. So the Speed Chess Championship, I think, is becoming really one of the most spectacular events in this year for sure. Although there are some other tournaments that were, I think, popular in the past, I think this concept, this Speed Chess Championship, the viewers really like, because many games are played. Many dynamic thing happens. We don't see basically just one game in which you, I don't know, you play a solid draw or something and the game is I don't know, is lasting for 3 or 4 hours. I like really this concept of the Speed Chess Championship. I think the players are liking it too, because they seem more relaxed when they play at home. But I think chess is becoming more and more like a football match with ups and downs. You hit the bar, you sometimes get the goal, but then you can get back. I really like the Speed Chess Championship, and I think it's one of the best concepts now in the chess community for sure. So I've sorted out now one great game played by Magnus Carlsen against Arjun Erigaisi with a dirty idea, with a dirty trap in the Catalan opening applied here by Magnus Carlsen. So put your seatbelts on and enjoy a really wild Catalan opening between these two top grandmasters. So with the white pieces, Magnus opened with the move d4. Arjun's Erigaisi's response was knight to f6, c4, e6, knight to f3, d5, and now we have the Catalan with the move g3. d takes c4, open defense, one of the most aggressive methods, really one of the most dynamic openings that you can play, I think, is the open Catalan. We have bishop to g2, of course, keeping an eye against this rook, not allowing some b5 stop by black immediately. We have now a6, preparing now the move b5. We have knight to e5 by Magnus, hitting now the pawn, and now bishop to b4 by Arjun Erigaisi. Very dangerous position now also to handle for white. We have knight to c3 and now knight to d5. Here Arjun locks out now this diagonal and puts more pressure against this knight on c3. And Magnus is of course a great theoretician. He's a great tactician and a great positional player. He's great in every aspect of the game, and he knows his stuff. That actually here he has some issues around the square 3-3, but he plays now the amazing kingside castling and says here, show me what you got, show me if you know your theory till the end here. So after the kingside castling, Arjun accepts the challenge. Knight takes c3, b takes c3, and now bishop to c3. It seems so that something is wrong here for white, because white lost now a couple of pawns. Black gets an extra tempo against the rook. Also the d4 pawn is hanging, but keep it calm. Magnus, as I said, knows his theory here. He's playing really an aggressive line in which black has to be really accurate. If black makes a tiny little inaccuracy or mistake, this game could be over in the next couple of moves. So here after bishop to c3, Magnus plays now the move rook to b1, which is of course the must move, also targeting now the b7 weakness. And now black has two choices. Bishop to d4 has been played in one game that I see also now in the database, but actually this is not working, because after knight to c4, maybe black's position is not so tactical anymore. The game is maybe not so dangerous to play immediately, but after something like kingside castling and bishop to a3, you have to now step back with the rook. Look at this. After rook to b3, rook to d3, white is building really a nice attacking formation. Try maybe bishop to f6, then queen to c2, and okay, in this position white is down 2 pawns, but I would not love to play this position from black's perspective. Rook to d1 is going to happen. Too much pressure. All of the pieces of white are on optimal squares, and look at black's position. All of the pieces almost on starting squares. Really passive setup for black, and I guarantee you Magnus would, I think, destroy here Arjun Erigaisi in this sideline. So that's why let's go back. After rook to b1, Arjun didn't take the pawn on d4. He played queen takes d4, which also makes perfect sense. You're trying to simplify the game. You gained a couple of pawns and you're trying to reach the endgame stage. But now Magnus plays a tricky queen to a4, uses the fact that the knight is controlling the d7 square, and Arjun Erigaisi has only one good move here. That's what I meant. This line that Magnus Carlsen played here, so aggressive. You have to always play the perfect move in order to stay in the game. The only way to survive this attack is to play the move b5. And this move b5 is not allowing a common tactic by white, which would be rook takes b5. Rook takes b5 here by white would be actually a mistake, because after a takes b5, you can grab the rook here and you gained your pawn back, but now white will get challenged in this way. Black will simply pick up the knight here, and also white can of course pick up the knight, but now black releases the pressure, has a solid position here. Black should be much better. The queen is connected to this pawn and also to this pawn, and black has extra pawns here on the board. The activity of blacks is also pretty solid. So here after move b5 that Arjun should have played, rook takes b5 is not working, but then the game it gets very complicated. Then again, queen to a3, you're picking up maybe here the knight. Now you play bishop to f4, you pick up also this pawn here, and after something like b4, then you play rook takes b4. Look at this line, believe me or not, has been played many times in chess history, so it's a well-known opening or sideline of the Catalan opening. Rook takes b4. Look at this, bishop to b4, queen to b4. The rook cannot escape also on this square, because then the knight is hanging. You're trying maybe something like a5. Now you deliver check. You're trying to cover. Then we pick up this one. You're trying maybe to escape. Bishop to b8, rook to b6. As I said, many times, even this line has been played in chess history. So I think it's a familiar line to top GMs, but unfortunately for Arjun, after queen to a4, he played now the bad mistake already in move 11, knight to d7, and believe me or not, the game is almost over here for black, because Magnus is a beast now. He knows, as I mentioned many times now in this video, his theory, and he plays now the optimal move, bishop to f4. This is great stuff. He simply keeps now this knight cemented on e5. That's the only move that keeps the pressure here for white. What should you do? If you castle here now, then after something like rook from f to d1, the queen gets trapped. Even if you try to escape maybe to a7, then knight takes d7 is obviously winning the game. You're trying to prolong the game. Queen to c2, and white has an extra piece. The rook on a8 is hanging. Too many tactical problems, I would say, here for black. After rook from f to d1, if this would be the position, then you have to give up the queen here and hope for the best. Then after something like a bishop to e5, bishop to e5, knight to e5, queen to d4, this is obviously still a better position for white, and I think not a good position anymore for black. So that's why bishop to f4, great move by Magnus, keeping his knight on e5 well placed here, and is controlling again here the d7 square. Queen to c5, Arjun is trying to battle, but now Magnus plays bishop takes b7. Look at this, you cannot take of course this one because of queen to d7, queen to f7, checkmate immediately. So that's why for bishop to b7, queen bishop to e5. Now Magnus plays bishop to e3, a beautiful intermediate attack against the queen. Queen drops back to e7, and now bishop to a8. And again, white is much better. White is up the exchange, has now great activity, which is also very important to say. It's not one of those positions where you are up the exchange, but you don't have a good coordination with your pieces. And what's also worth to mention now, the pawn structure here, the pawns here on a6, c7, c7 and c4 are isolated, very easy to attack. So from this point on, the game is really one-way ticket in white's favor, and the Stockfish engine evaluates this position as 2.5 in the white's favor. Great opening theory here by Magnus, really challenging here Arjun Erigaisi's knowledge about the Catalan opening. Bishop to a8, c3 by Arjun. Magnus of course tries to simplify the game by trading off more pieces. He did it immediately with bishop to e5, knight to e5, and now he picked up this isolated pawn. That's what I meant. If maybe in this position black would have somehow maybe 3 connected passers, or three pawns here on the queen side, if the pawns would not be isolated, then maybe down the exchange you can play this position, but not like this. Look at this, now even the c7 is weak, a6 is weak anyway. Too many structural weaknesses in black's camp. a5, bishop to e4, bishop to a6, and now Magnus grabs another pawn. Obviously game over here for black, but Arjun is battling. You see that Arjun will also try here now ideas. He's trying to keep himself in the game. After king to h8, bishop to e4, f5, bishop to g2, and now f4. Arjun is pushing through. He's trying of course to activate the rook, maybe get the knight here somehow, maybe even the queen somehow in the h-file, because white has only the good bishop as a defender in front of the king. Magnus competes with queen to e4, queen to g5, and now rook to c7. As I said, too many pawn weaknesses. Now Magnus is getting through. F3 by Arjun, and now a beautiful move here by Magnus. He plays bishop takes F3. Usually you should not give up your light square bishop. That's of course the key protector of light squares, but actually a potential move like knight to F3 is not working here for black. You can simplify the game after e takes F3 and bishop to F1, king to F1. No really good checks are possible. Really, the rook is controlling the C1 square. You're trying maybe to simplify, but you can even, I think, go now with white into the fully endgame stage. You play king to G2, you're up 2 pawns, and I think the greatest endgame player of all times, Magnus Carlsen, would squeeze a win for sure out of this position. So that's why after bishop to F3, Arjun says, okay, I should probably not trade off more pieces. So that's why he tried bishop to D3, because if you try something like, I don't know, c takes D3, then of course knight to F3 comes in a dangerous way into the game, and it's a different story now. White could face many light square problems, but Magnus again after knight to D3 here, bishop to D3 keeps it calm. Queen to B7, of course, putting more pressure on the 7th rank. We have rook takes F3, Magnus grabs now e takes F3, now knight to F3 is not possible, of course, because of the queen that's protecting the square. Queen to F5, Arjun is putting more pressure here. Arjun is really playing now the optimal moves in order to keep himself in the game, but now Magnus plays again a calm F4. Bishop to E4, it seems so that Magnus has some issues here because knight to F3 could come, but now Magnus plays queen to B8, king to H7, and now a beautiful stunning move, rook takes G7. And after king takes G7, queen to E5 in this particular position, Arjun Erigaisi resigned. Magnus found the beautiful tactic to simplify the game till the end, and now obviously after something like queen to E5, f takes E5, you're up the exchange, have of course extra pawns here. Obviously, game over here for Arjun Erigaisi. So great Catalan opening by Magnus Carlsen, destroyed Arjun in almost the early stage of the game. The game was prolonged, but Magnus trapped, I think, here Arjun with a well-known line of the Catalan opening, and it's true, as I mentioned, and is facing now Hans Niemann in the semifinals of the Speed Chess Championship in 2024. So prepare yourself. In September of this year, we'll follow this epic semifinals, also the epic semifinals between Alireza and Hikaru Nakamura. So we'll have a great September of 24 for sure. So okay, I hope that you enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed it a lot. Interesting ideas of the Catalan opening for sure. If you want to see some more beautiful, sharp, tactical chess games like this, check out our Come to Chess Games and also our Come to Chess Games Played by Computers here on my YouTube chess channel. And if you like this content, hit the subscribe button. See you soon with some more videos, and what do we say in the end? Chess is the best, of course.